I want to start out by saying congratulations
Maybe I
on
should.
5 nominations. How does that
Yeah.
feel?
I'm totally over the moon, to be honest with you. I wasn't sure how people would take the whole story of the knowing of me wrestling with my own family's story and finding out about my own family story and then interweaving that with Canada. I didn't know how people would take it. And I also wanted to make a film that survivors would be proud of. I wanted people to see joy and intergenerational joy, not just intergenerational trauma. When I started in journalism and telling our stories, there wasn't a lot of appetite to hear us, to listen to us, to see us. That's changed, and every year it's getting better. We're still nowhere near to where we need to be, but things are changing, and Canadians are being more receptive to hearing the truth.
You're retelling history through an Indigenous lens. And I remember what I learned going to a mainstream school about Indigenous history. Tell me what's different in the knowing.
This is a lived example of what the fur trade did to our people, what the governorship of the Hudson Bay Company, Rupert's Land, all of these things you hear about in your history class. But do you really know what it means to be an Indigenous family, to be a First Nations family living through these things? Every single First Nation, Métis, Inuit, we all know that there are people that didn't come home from Indian residential schools, from Indian hospitals, from tuberculosis sanitaria, from asylums. We all know this to be true. Those whispers, of your aunties and your relations late at night talking about people that are just gone from us. The very first time I was at Kamloops Indian Residential School, and I was sitting with survivors of that so-called school. They said to me, they always knew there were people that didn't come home. Their classmates didn't come home. Their family members didn't come home. And they said that that was the knowing. And as soon as I heard that phrase, I knew that was my family. That was my community. And that phrase and knowing was just in my head, and it had to be the title of the book.